Hello and welcome back to the Cesspool podcast, where we talk about everything and anything, no matter how disgusting or offensive. This is our first episode of season 2, and we'll still be introducing ourselves. I'm your co-host Tyler with my other co-host Joseph.
Today we'll be talking about college since, everyone in this call is in college at this point. And it's been a couple months in, and I wanted to hear how everyone's doing, just overall college experience and how terrible it is, all that jazz.
Thanks for introducing the special guest, Dave.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No,
I was about to
no,
say.
it's fine, Joe. It's fine.
It's just no.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just,
yeah,
yep, it's
yeah.
fine. Everything is fine.
Our guest is another fellow YouTuber who's a close friend of ours, Joe, who has starred in our skits. One skit actually. We had another skit. Remember that, Joe? Remember
Yeah,
our horror short that will never ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
you mean the disaster.
No,
Okay,
that's a great
to be
idea. It was a good idea.
No, it was so ambitious that it just never. It was too hard. I think it was too hard for the feeble minds of high school.
I honestly think we could have done it if we just had a better team. Like there was
Yeah.
like we had one person. Okay, it was really one person. Let's be honest.
It was just one person. It was Jerome. Okay, I'll call him out. I'll call him out. It's fine. He doesn't have YouTube.
No,
He doesn't even watch us.
no, and that's okay.
But yeah,
That's fine.
frickin' Jerome. Am I right, guys?
Oh Lord.
I think we shouldn't say anything else. Let's stop.
Yeah,
it here.
yeah. We're not gonna say anything else. But yeah, so uh, finally we're on season 2 since I decided it was gonna be season 2, because it's a new school year, and for us it's kind of like a new age or a new chapter of our lives. So we wanted to make it so that Cesspool's podcast kind of represented that. So it's season 2. So yeah, that's just why.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So back to topic, because that's what we're here for. We're here for the college experience and how everyone is. So I mean, we can start with Tyler and then just go down
Oh, well,
the line. Or
okay.
it
I
depends.
really don't have a lot to say because I'm doing community college and it's bad. That's all I'm really gonna say. It's bad. Like because I'm sure for most people, majority of people, we're back in person. Maybe you're wearing a mask in class. Maybe you don't have to. I don't know. Maybe there's some classes where you have to be online. Maybe not. For me though, because it's community college, and they don't really care. I only have so it's all online, which that's a good start right there. And then the best part is that only 2 out of the 5 classes that I'm taking are actually they even have a like remote call, like a Zoom call basically. Only 2 of those exist, and the rest are completely asynchronous, and they fail to really communicate very much. To be fair, I didn't know where to find their syllabus because they didn't communicate that to me. But now that I found it, that's a little bit more helpful because now I have a general idea of when things are due. But besides that, it's very up in the air, and it sucks. It's bad. I don't like it. I don't really like. There's one professor maybe that I actually like, because he said something nice about like the one project I've had to do for his class. Besides that, I don't really like any of them. Just from like, especially the people who I actually have to be in a lecture with. I really don't like those people. They're not. They're just not very good teachers. At the end of the day, they're not very responsible, etc. I don't recommend it. Don't go to community college. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but like, uh, yeah, it's not good in its current state. At least it's not good. It's bad.
Well,
Huh.
I can agree with you on actually quite a lot of stuff, and I'm not in community college. I'm not gonna say which college I'm in because that'll be like, imagine somebody that's in the same college as me knows where I am, like listens, and he's like, oh shit, that'd be awkward. But anyways, sorry, off topic again. Um, yeah, my college is not doing great either. So school sucks.
Mm-hmm.
My professors definitely don't know what they're doing. My English teacher, or my expository writing professor actually calls Wednesday Wetness Day, she doesn't know how to pronounce some of the things, like basic words, which concern me in general. And the class itself is pretty hard. Just overall, professors suck, dude. I mean, I have one professor, but he's not really a professor. He's just a military officer, and he's super chill. Like, I did a presentation today, which in front of military people, by the way, and I was not nervous, which I'm pretty proud of myself for. And I did my presentation flawlessly. And he like commented on that, and I was like, hell yeah, that made my day.
Nice, nice.
Nice. My school experience. I got a 96 on an exam that I didn't even study for. Because I had
that's
to.
just-
Imagine passing on assignments. That's something I could never do.
I just like
Really?
the idea of that being like the entire.
No, it's because
summary
like
of-
college assignments are fucking trash here. Oh, I shouldn't curse. We'll bleep that out. Future Tyler, bleep it out, please. Anyways, so yeah. Oh, I almost said it. Bleep that out too. But yeah, it's just like college. Like my college especially, it's like because it's so big. People don't really like the professors don't really care about you. You know what I mean? So like, it's almost like you're on your own, and it's a big issue if you don't know how to like ask the teacher, email them, and like keep bothering them. If you don't do that, you're definitely gonna suffer. So like that's a big issue with me in my college.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like they just don't know. Like, cause they're like getting like people like a ton of like educational backgrounds. They just don't know what to do. There's like so many other people.
No, but that's not just the issue. They just don't care.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like I don't know about your college, but my college definitely like it's like a really big college. Like our college is huge compared to like like especially like I know for sure that my college is like larger than yours, Joe. And I'm not like saying that to like say like, oh, I have it worse than you. But I know for sure that we have a bigger like student range, so it's a lot harder for professors to kind of deal with that amount of people. So yeah, I can see why they'd be struggling. But it's still like annoying. It's frustrating for the student.
Yeah, fair. It's just like yeah, I actually no, I get that now.
Yeah.
When I think about it. And it's like you pay like so much money to be part of this. It's just like, dude, they're giving us BS.
Mhm.
No, yeah, most of my classes are lectures online. Like tomorrow, I'm not leaving my room, like my dorm. I'm
That's-
staying in my dorm and just taking classes.
Word,
It's kind of
word.
a yikes, honestly.
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
you
like,
know, you're paying a lot
there's
of
some,
money.
yeah, there's some good to it, but there's also just like a glaring issue with that, especially with the fact that like I'm paying more money to be in the dorm.
Yep.
I'm also like, I have to like, I can't ask questions as easily, you know, because like in person, if I raise my hand, they can see me. But on Zooms, some people like the teachers are like low key blind, so they don't even see.
Low key blind. True. Oh my lord.
It's
Yeah.
annoying. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm having a great time with like friends and stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
word.
I
Have
mean,
you
I
guys
don't know about you guys.
have you guys joined any dope clubs?
Minor ass. I'll let you guys talk.
No,
Wait,
no, no, no. I
no,
want to
no,
start
no,
with you
no.
first
Ask
now,
goes
just because
first. Yeah.
No, but there's I know I haven't because like they're all terrible unless
Tell
you
me
know,
like the ones that you've seen and you think is terrible,
Hold on, let me go into the let me go into their Discord.
bro. Well, while Tyler's
No, no, no.
researching his own,
I
you
got
got it. You got it.
So there's a comp sci club, but I'm not doing comp sci, so that doesn't really
Yeah, so
apply to
that's
me.
dumb.
There's a socialist club, and I'm not actually a socialist, despite what my Discord name says.
Wait, they actually have that? That's so
yes.
stupid.
Yeah, they do. I've seen the guy who runs it, and
Huh.
like, oh my god, it fits so perfectly. That's all I'm gonna say. It fits so perfectly.
Oh God,
Okay.
it's Joe Biden, isn't it?
No. No, I don't. No, no. That would be funny, but no. There's like the outdoor club. Okay, my favorite is the Pokemon Go club. It's not the Pokemon club. It's the Pokemon Go in particular club. If you don't play Pokemon Go, you're not allowed. You can't come in.
Wait, that's
Pokemon Go
actually so.
only.
Wait,
That's
that
actually
actually.
that's actually so funny.
I
I
I
find
love
that
that
hilarious.
exists.
Wait, do they have a general Pokemon
No,
club? Like,
no,
no, what?
no. It's
Okay,
That's
what?
funny.
Why?
I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. Of course, oblig- oh my god, obligatory anime club, of course.
Oh yeah, I haven't joined that. I've been
uh,
too like into my own thing. Well, me and like Joe will talk about our own like
mm,
club after you.
yeah. There's an esports club, but they don't play the one game that I would consider doing for esports.
Like what? What Tetris 2?
No, Counter Strike. If they were legit, I mean, I'm not good at Counter Strike, but like I joined their Discord because I was just kind of curious. They play like, I don't know, like Valorant is just such an ass game. Like I don't play League. I don't do really any of the things that they do, so I just don't really care. What else do we
Right.
got? There's Active Minds Club. There's a STEM club, obviously. Pre-health, microbiology, and of course another obligatory Pride club, and that's about it. I think there's other ones. I think there's like a chess club. There's some other things I'm not listing, but I just can't remember.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of lameo. Yeah, yeah, you guys go.
I'll go then. So, uh, our college has a ton of like obviously because our college is huge, but it's huge. But yeah, it's there's a ton of like like sub communities. There's like a ton of like clubs and stuff. The ones that I've joined is like the Korean Student Association Club, or like just it's just called the Korean Student Association, and it's like we meet like every month, and it's like I always come late, so it's like what's even the point of just going anyways? I joined the esports club for Smash, and I haven't even like gone to any meetings yet. Like it's been like a whole month, and I haven't gone.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yikes.
and I've joined. What else did I join? I joined the martial arts club. Yes, so that's the only club that I'm going to right now that I actually enjoy. To be fair, 1/3 of the like I'm not even going to like the second like club that I decided to join, but the club that I'm in right now, martial arts club, we like learn about like a specific like I thought it'd be mixed martial arts, but it's not. So it's like just Muay Thai, which is like a Thailand like kickboxing thing,
Okay.
but it was created before kickboxing. Anyways, this is like a whole nother series I'll probably make eventually. But yeah, so uh it's like pretty cool, but it's like I meet like every other day day of the weekdays, and we're starting to spar. And that's like the only thing I'm enjoying right now in college is that. That's the only thing that's keeping me sane. Training for martial arts and the fact that I can talk to my friends. Those are my two things that are keeping me sane in college.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Jesus.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean like I don't know how Joe feels cuz Joe, you're out of state, but I'm in state, so I get to like see my parents like every other week or
Yeah.
like if I want to. So like it's kind of nice. So like I don't lose my mind like completely, you know?
Right, right.
But yeah, I don't think I would have like liked being out of state just because like I would feel like shit I have stuff back at home that I want to bring. Like cuz like I'm an indecisive person, so I would always like go back home to get shit. So like last week I brought my mic, for example. I brought like batteries because I wanted batteries. I wanted to
Couldn't
bring
go buy batteries.
no, we could buy batteries, but like I already had them at home. Why would I buy them?
I don't know.
Like I wanted to get like my roller, like you know those like exercise rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I brought that from home. I brought my so I have the Gillette deodorant, but it's garbage. I hate it. So I like that one's the one I bought. but I went back and got my other one, got the better one. So I have that now, which is much nicer. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like I've been just bringing shit from home to here, just making it like more homey for me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just kind of had everything with me when I brought shit to college, so it was just like, it all checks out pretty well. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess it's like more convenient.
imagine,
Yeah. I
imagine
mean,
enjoying college and like having shit at your place that you like.
I feel so sorry for you.
Dude, it's not even like you feel futility. It's like it's doable. Like the things that I'm doing are doable. It's like just out of your reach. So it's so hard, yet it's so easy. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's like in hindsight, it's like, oh shit, I'm so dumb. But like when you're doing it, you're just like, bruh, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Uh,
That's what I'm feeling every day. So like I'm trying to like keep up with my studies, obviously. I've been like taking notes. I've been doing my homework properly and like everything. It's still not enough. And that's like an issue. Is like why is my college like
mm, sounds like
and I'm
LT.
no, yeah, it's like definitely not just me though. It's like a ton of people as well. It's like it's like the analogy, the toad in the pot. Like you, if you boil it immediately, it's gonna like jump out because it's too hot. But if you boil it very slowly, the toad will be cooked alive without even itself not even knowing. That's how I feel right now in college.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a slow burn, but it's killing me. So it's like I don't know, like I don't like it's a concern. It's not really it's like a weird mixture of like I'm concerned but also I know I have time. But it's like this weird thing of me just being doing half and half of everything.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Like like in hindsight, high school is so much easier. Like honestly. There's like larger gaps in exams like for tests and shit. It's so much easier.
I think we're also still kind of used to like, being babied because of coronavirus.
Yeah, that might be a big one.
True, honestly.
That
Cause
might
like,
be
let's
like
be honest, guys, we were babied.
no, I mean to be fair, nobody knew how to deal with like COVID at the beginning.
Yeah, but like,
And like our literally half of like our grade literally we only had like a half of 2 years legitimately in high school. The rest was all
two
like
and
virtual.
2 2/3.
Yeah, yeah, but like that's being technical.
Yeah, but still. So what I'm kind of getting at is like more the idea that yeah, we were given a ton of leniency just in general. Like even a year into Corona, you know.
Well,
Uh
it's because the teachers weren't able to adapt that well.
I know, but like I'm not saying it's our fault, but I'm just saying that like there is a side effect to that.
No, yeah, definitely. It was a definitely a bad effect on our work ethic thing.
Yes.
Cause like I stopped studying that much because of COVID. Because I was like, I know like they're gonna be easy on me and stuff. I think
Right.
that's definitely a big reason, like why a lot of us are like struggling, especially in college. And I
Mhm.
think college is gonna take a while for college to understand that because like college is always late, so they're gonna eventually understand like what's going on, but it might be too late when they do realize that, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, other than that, there is an anime club. So like a thing in our my specific hall is we have an anime section, which is like there's no anime like club officially, but our like hall actually hosts anime stuff. So whoever's interested in anime comes to call like to my like to my area, like my dorm hall, and they all go down to the lounge and like they just watch anime and stuff, which is pretty
Um,
cool. But I've been too lazy, and I've been like either I'm lazy or I'm studying. Like it's always like at like 11 at night when I'm like struggling to understand something, and I've been like grinding all night. But like I don't know, that's why I don't like doing that as well. It's just some of these clubs are such a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
right, I felt that.
Yeah. Also, my martial arts club was expensive. We had to pay $50 for like pads, and like paying the coach and stuff.
$50.
Kind of annoying.
Oof.
Yeah, per
Uh,
semester.
That's
I'm
like
thinking of
no,
just yeah. So like next semester, I'm thinking I'm just not gonna join. I'm just probably gonna spar with my friends just outside of the martial arts,
yes.
cause like I already know most of these things, and like I understand that like it's cool to be part of a club. Like definitely you can write that as like a thing, and like it's a
Yep.
community thing. But I definitely want to join like other stuff. So yeah, I want to have different times for different things.
With fifty
Word.
dollars, $50 you could do a
Yeah,
lot.
$50. Yeah, like
Think
damn.
of all the
I
things
mean,
you could
to
do.
be fair, it's not just like well, it's paying for the coaches. Like the coaches are there. They're getting paid like nothing essentially.
Fair enough. Yeah.
They're here to like teach kids martial arts like out of kindness, I guess. I don't even know if they're like actual coaches, by the way. I think they're students. They're like
They're just
seniors.
there.
Yeah, no, they're seniors. They teach us, but like still. I
Or
kind of
that's
want to I kind of want to keep going so that I can become like a coach or like the president of the club just because.
and then you can get free money from just
Well,
asking to
not
get
just free money. It's just
Passive
it's just
income.
passive income.
well, it's not just passive income. It's for my ego.
Passive income.
Oh my god, a grind set.
Passive money is the best kind of money.
True. I would love it if I could just get paid like a bunch of money every day for nothing. I'm joking.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
For nothing.
like Joe, we were talking about CFA. We were talking about those type of stuff, that like plan of passive money for us.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna go into depth with that because where this is being it's on YouTube. We're not gonna talk about martial arts now. Like that's probably gonna be a series I make, and I'll probably talk about it with you, Joe, and like it'll be like kind of like a talk show.
Yeah.
But that's another deal. I think that's later. Cause like I think, oh, I mean, I guess this episode that I actually figure out what I want to do is it's gonna be a series on martial arts,
There you go.
which is
There,
gonna
you
be.
did it.
I know
Nice.
Now
it's
make
gonna
it,
be
please.
it's gonna be super niche. Like nobody's gonna like it. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
like
what I thought about Committed, and guess what happened?
okay, but like committed's actually good though.
That doesn't matter. It's the most niche topic. I didn't think anybody cared about that.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got 1,000 views on that episode. It
It's
blew
almost
my
at,
mind.
It's almost at 2,000.
Is it actually? No
Yeah,
way.
It is.
I am checking right now. Wait, I'm so proud of us. Or proud of you.
I'm
It's
so
like it's
proud of what
it's like
we
it's
accomplished in the group.
no. We accomplished it. I lumped myself to 1.9k views. Holy shit.
He's
I know
done it.
that's
He's
like
become YouTube famous.
yeah, I know.
Tyler
I
has
peaked.
become YouTube famous.
Guys, I peaked. I did it. I did it. I did it.
Tyler, quit. Drop out of college, dude.
I gotta quit
Be
my
one
job.
of those TikTok celebrities that buy mansions
No.
at 18 years
I
old.
see. I'd be okay with that, but like, I wouldn't want to do TikTok. I'd literally do anything else. Please, please.
TikTok gang.
No.
Imagine having a TikTok. I've never downloaded that.
I
and
have
will,
not either, and I.
Yeah,
will
imagine
never
having a TikTok, right?
what are you implying? What are
Stop
you
lying.
implying?
No, you have one. Oh yeah, we should talk about this. So Joe has been working on some music stuff actually.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and definitely a very interesting like thing that like Joe, like since you know we're close friends, we know I know specifically. I don't know if Tyler knows, but Joe, you're very into music and like you're taking music theory right now in college,
Yep.
and you seem to be very interested in music.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
are you gonna like if you like edit this like cover? Because I know it's a cover. It's not like actually your original music yet. You're not there yet. Where right? You're
Right.
like yeah, you're like modifying beats and stuff.
Right.
Which
Yep.
I still think you could make your own music. Like with the talents you have, you could really just make your own music. But I'm assuming you want to take it step by step. So are you gonna
Yeah.
like are you gonna upload that kind of stuff onto your YouTube channel for your viewers?
Yeah. And I was also gonna use TikTok as well because as much as people say it's cringe, it is like a really good platform for creators.
Cringe.
It is a good platform for creators. Like
It
the
is. It
amount of
is.
like growth you can get is like.
No,
But
yeah, like some of my friends, like my friends in here, like in college, so they have friends that are, you know, most of them are girls obviously, and they do TikToks and they have like 2-3K views and they have like over 900 like followers or whatever the fuck they have. I don't
yeah,
know. But like yeah, it's like a big thing in TikTok, but I feel like a big issue that here's the deep conversations that are coming now. So it's like the TikTok exemplifies, I think, what internet has become at this point. It's
yeah,
like a couple seconds of attention and then swipe.
Yep.
You know, it's
Mhm.
not like when you know when we were like in middle school and stuff. Like we read up on like newspapers about how like Gen Zs were losing like attention span.
yeah.
Like I understand that now. Like I sound like a boomer, but like it's because I'm mature for my age, and everyone else who thinks I'm a boomer, you guys are 5 years old mentally.
I'm a boomer in disguise. Trust me, it's okay.
But yeah, it's like I don't like TikTok isn't a good example of what of internet should be. I think personally, just because of how fast it is, it's too fast. It's 3 or 2 seconds, and then like not even. It's like how
Well,
long is it? Like it could be like 10-20 seconds, but
yeah.
still a lot of it tries to be like shorter than that, and I feel like it's just a chain of consuming just internet, and
So
I understand. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. So let's to be real. TikTok is essentially Vine 2, and the
That's what
thing
I said.
you said that I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
No, 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 not right now, but
Oh, you've
I've
said
said
it.
that
Yeah. No,
before. Yeah.
it's essentially Vine 2, and the thing about Vine, I think the reason that it fizzled out quickly is because it was maybe a little ahead of its time. Like there was a period where Vine was a huge deal. I know, but like it
It died
died
very
for a
quickly.
reason, and I think it's because the majority of people were not really, not really ready for that kind of content yet. And I know that sounds kind of stupid. But like the majority of people were not really into that. It wasn't
Well,
like
yeah.
this huge thing like
Well,
TikTok
it was
is.
cuz the meme culture wasn't as strong back.
Yeah, or the yeah. Well, yeah. The video medium for memes was not nearly big enough
Yeah.
yet.
Also, am I cutting out
I
cuz
mean,
I'm
if
like
you don't count the fine bruh sound effect that you
Yeah.
hear every time the fucking boom, fucking.
I don't like I see Vine and I see it's like when I saw TikTok, I thought to myself, this is like Vine and I expected it to die, hence why I didn't download it. And I'm still not going to download it. Like I'm still determined that it's terrible and I don't want it. But it's like I think the reason why a lot of people the reason why our generation the reason why TikTok's alive is because of our generation.
Hmm.
Because we experienced Vine
Yes,
and then it died and then like cuz I remember
I
that
remember.
um none of you guys were in my town, but you guys know Tyler, you're going to have to bleep this by the way. You know accounts, right?
God, what's the time on this? Yes, I do.
Yeah, so he did Vine actually. So during Vine was the thing, he did Vines and he got like quite a like he got 100, 200 followers. And so like it kind of exemplifies that, right? It's like you can kind of see like mirror that action to now and understand that our generation has already been prepped to accept TikTok because of Vine. Because we're so used to that like fast meme format and like that fast like content stream.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's
So
like
yeah,
we were like it's cause also just like the effect of the too. Like we're like so like I guess like used to just like going like, okay, here's a click on this video, boom, new video, boom, boom. It's just like we click just like ADHD in mind all over the YouTube and just like supports that sort of shit.
I mean to be fair, our like when YouTube was a thing, it almost like died as well. Like a lot of people didn't understand what it was and like I understand that, and I think TikTok at this point it's gonna become like YouTube, where it becomes like institutionalized and it's like part of the like an iconic social media platform, just like Instagram, YouTube, and like Snapchat kind of is. I mean, Snapchat's dead, like it's dying, but you know what I mean, like those like social like Facebook bought its own relevancy by buying Instagram. They like bought their own relevancy, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, Facebook. I feel like Zuckerberg is he's too smart to let Facebook die. I think you know,
Yeah, no,
like
he won't.
he'll never let it go. I know for sure that he's never letting. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good idea, Joe, that you're posting your music on TikTok. As of
Yeah.
right, I mean, we'll probably link your TikTok and your YouTube channel down on our in the description, down in the description for whoever wants to see Joe's Minecraft content, the limited content that he has there. You can definitely go watch. I watched all of them. They were quite entertaining, so I definitely watched all of them. Um, yeah, I mean, go subscribe to Joe. Definitely, he's funny.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and he has a ton of I mean, to be fair, I mean, Joe, do you want to talk about your new idea, like the thing you were just talking about before, or you want to leave that for your own channel?
I can actually just bring it up because I'm not really planning on using my channel.
Why not? Use your channel, dude.
It's kind of hard to make Minecraft videos when your laptop like literally just doesn't like can't support Minecraft at that rate. It's just
Wait,
like
then how are you playing Minecraft?
it's like I still able to play it, but the mouse tracking is so awful. Like it will take like 5 seconds for me to like to get my mouse to like start moving to where it wants to be, and it's like actually really affecting like the gameplay. Obviously, because you
Mm,
need to constantly move around,
yeah.
especially when you're fighting people. And
Mm.
it's like, oh well, now I can't aim properly. So like, how am I gonna do this? You know what I mean?
I mean, you don't need to participate. You can be an administrator. You can just like be the rule keeper.
That's what I was also gonna like talk about, and then I'll just talk about the idea here. So I think because I
Uh-huh.
also just want this channel to grow too. I got ideas.
Thanks, man. We're gonna
Yeah, no problem.
overtake you eventually, Joe. I swear to you.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
possible.
we need only 8 more subscribers and we'll overtake you.
I'll just give you nine. I'm joking. I'm joking.
How do you do that? You can't do that.
Could
It's not
make
a coin
you
based,
make a lot of accounts.
Yeah, make a bit of a
bruh.
lot of accounts.
Make all 9 fake accounts. But yeah,
Yeah, the
go ahead,
idea
Joe.
is basically so um it's a concept being done like by a ton of people, but I still think it would be interesting. Why don't we just like grab like all of our friends, we put them in a hardcore server for like 10 to 15 minutes. We get like it's grace period, so you can just get you have to get resources, and it's gonna be like 2 player teams, so like 2 people per team, obviously. And then after the grace period stops, they just basically everyone has to like fight each other. The last remaining team like wins. It's gonna be
So when are we gonna start that whole thing, Joe?
well, I mean, I'll
Because
just
it's
got to
like it's a very time sensitive thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe we can like push it out when we're all able to actually do it. And I know like since school is gonna like conflict with everything, I was
Mhm.
maybe thinking like break like next time or
I
something like
mean,
that.
I think what we should do is we should do it like in a staggered area where it's like you can create a server and then everyone like all the people can like just join at first and then just play a normal Minecraft. Like you give them a plot of land that you've already set up and they
Yeah,
have to stay in that specific like area and
yeah, yeah.
then sorry. Oh, my voice is getting dry. And then so my throat's getting dry, sorry. So yeah, from there you can like have them have like a week grace period and then say like you guys can collect resources for this and that and then set a specific date for the grace period to end.
Yeah, I see. That could work too.
Because I think that makes the most sense. Since you know everyone has like different schedules, it wouldn't be fair to just make everyone like just have the people that can join just join when other people want to join. You know?
Well, no. Like the whole like thing with UHC is that like all of like the grace period stuff, like you can still get like resources. It's just like you could have to like UHC sessions are like all one game sessions. So like getting the resources and fighting each other are like in the same, if that makes sense. Like the way I'm thinking
Oh,
is
so
that
like a battle
yeah,
royale.
it's like a battle royale basically. Something.
Understand?
So yeah, and that would like make things like less complicated in terms of schedules because it'd just be like, look, one day, show up, that's it. That would be like kind of the
I see.
and yeah, I was also probably thinking of putting borders. So instead of like having to like find each other for like 3 hours, we'll just like shrink the borders, and then everyone will have to like meet each other eventually for deathmatch, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Mhm.
Um, still an idea I'm gonna be doing. I don't. The thing I want to ask before even we do this is like whether or not people want to be able to, because you know, as some people or most people may know, the new Minecraft update's coming out for 1.17 or something. So like, I was wondering if whether or not people wanted to do the latest version or if people wanted to do an older version of Minecraft. And I asked for an older version because it would be like different PvP. That makes
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it that different? I don't think it
Yeah.
is.
No, it is. It's like 1.8 PvP is like
Oh
um
wait. Sorry, I thought you were talking about like the most recent one and then the one that's coming. Sorry.
no, not like
No, I know what you're talking about. The ones where it's like you can spam click and then the other
yeah.
one is yeah, I know what you're talking
When you decide to step up to this kind of power, this kind of challenge, this kind of flying, crashing, feeling, when you decide to get serious, there's only one place to come, the games of Super Nintendo. No one else creates this kind of experience, because no one else creates these kinds of games. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
And we're back. Sorry for the interruption. My keyboard decided to kick the bucket, so my computer went haywire, and that's why there's been a slight jump in what we were talking about. So I
Me
don't know.
and
I don't even know where we were.
yeah, we
Just
forgot.
talking about a Minecraft thing.
Oh
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yes.
So I think the last thing I said was basic or I'll just probably like relay and then we could just cut some part of that out. Um the whole idea is that we're gonna do this in like one day or like one date where it's just like we'll throw like people into like a hardcore worlds for like the first like 10 to 15 minutes. We have like a grace period. So uh basically we just like get materials and we just like get people to uh do some things, find some stuff, and then after that sort of grace period ends, they just go into battle royale and we fight each other to the death, the last team remaining, and that's basically it.
Understand.
Uh, and it's gonna be like 2-player team. So
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
the last thing I said was that I was wondering if you guys were interested in like whether or not people would be interested in doing the latest version or like the 1.8
Right.
PvP.
I think
Right.
well, personally, I'm more used to the recent one with the loadout and attack bars and whatever the hell. I
Yeah,
honestly find that more thing, I think, because the other one, the older combat system is literally just spam clicking.
yeah,
There's like you literally don't need to use any other item except a shield and a sword. Just spam your sword attack.
yeah,
Imagine there being swords.
Exactly.
yeah,
But like
yeah,
in the newer version, we can use you need to use other stuff. You have to use like your axe. Like axe is the best like melee weapon now, right? And then you can like crossbows are better instead of like arrows. Like there's pros and cons. It's more like it's more balanced, I guess you can say, compared
right.
to like what the previous combat format was. Because
I
like
think it, yeah,
yeah, no, go ahead.
I think it would also be interesting because like as people, I mean, you know, you're familiar with the Manhunt series
Oh yeah,
from
definitely.
Dream. Like it would also be like cool if people would also like strategize if they would like get potions or like the like to
Exactly.
like trick people. And I think it'd be whoa,
Oh,
getting a call.
Joe. All right. Nah, Joe, you
Uh
can mute.
but yeah, no, that's basically what I was just yeah. No, I'll take this call later. It's
No, take the call now, bro. If it's important, then take it.
all right, right back.
Yeah. All right. So it's just me and you, Tyler. So, we'll talk about other things. So while you were gone, me and Joe were talking about like the if the people for the people that are undecided for college, right?
Mm.
I wanted to give them advice. Like, although I'm relatively young compared to people that usually give advice to college students about the same topics. I feel like I have a good insight in that sense because I'm pretty much just an old man in his body. It's
Uh-huh.
like I think uh for those people that are undecided, it's very generic to just say, oh, do what you're passionate about, but they're right in the sense that, like, for example, if you don't have a bigger goal that you want to reach, you find it worth the sacrifice of giving up your passion as a job so that you can reach this certain goal, then you shouldn't choose some like random like top like major that you find like, oh, it's just gonna make me money or whatever. You
Yeah.
know what
Well,
I mean?
exactly.
So like, for example, like Joe, like I was talking to him about it, which is like he's really like passionate about music, really is interested in like creating, but he's not pursuing it as a major as a. So
Uh-huh.
I told him, I was like, if you don't have any goals of other things that you want to do, like career wise, then you should definitely just go into like music because that's what you're passionate about, and if you really like it, then it's worth taking that risk and taking that leap of faith. While like for me, I'm doing comp sci, which like I kind of like, but not enough to do it as a living. But the reason why I'm doing it is because my goal is something that I want to do. Right? My goal is to like own a become a indie developer, like a game indie developer.
Uh-huh.
And like to do so, I need to know comp sci. So like I'm willing to sacrifice my passions of art and like other things so that I can become a game developer.
Yeah.
So like if you don't have like a like a career goal like that, and you're just thinking what is the degree that'll get me the most money and job security, then that's not the right way of thinking of things. That's not how you should be thinking. You should be thinking, do I have a career goal? If so, am I willing to sacrifice like my alternate like life essentially, like that if I did this, then would this happen,
Mhm.
like you're losing more options the more decisions you make. So you have to really decide whether or not that goal is important enough to sacrifice that option. But if
Yeah.
you don't have a goal like that, you should just choose what you think is your passion and what you find
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I was talking to Joe about.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, I don't really know what I want to do either, personally.
Mm.
I don't think really anyone, to be completely honest with you, like not a lot of like freshmen.
No.
Well, yeah,
No.
it's because, dude, we're way too young to do anything.
No. We're
Our
young and
brains,
dumb.
yeah, like we're 18. We're like a year. We're like barely adults legally.
I'm almost 19.
I mean, either way, human brains take longer to develop.
Yeah, true. 25.
Yeah, and even then, what I've been realizing is that as technology goes further and like the human race advances, it takes longer for the human individual human to mature. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
if you looked at an 18-year-old caveman, he was probably definitely more mature and experienced than we are, in the sense that he's probably like the mentality is of like a 30-year-old, because they die short. So
Yeah.
it's think of our like life. Let's say we die at 100 and they die at 20. You just divide by five. You know,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
so they mature half as fast or 5 times as fast in that sense,
Right.
or at least that's my theory. Because like I've realized that although like humans are learning at a faster rate, the maturity takes longer.
Yes. Also, just people are pretty stupid nowadays.
Oh yeah, that's
True.
that's
Oh
because of
god.
the internet though. That's like I watch enough like Jordan Peterson and like okay, listen, not just him.
Okay.
Listen. Uh, him, Neil deGrasse Tyson talks a lot about that as well, in the sense that there's always been idiots with like the tinfoil hats and like all
Mhm.
those weird idiots that think the Earth is flat. But the reason why it's more prevalent now is because the internet
Yeah.
allows us to communicate easier. So
Yes.
these idiots find more idiots and they become a bigger idiot.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Because, yeah, they validate each other, which makes them feel more confident.
Yes.
Echo chamber to the
Mhm.
effect.
Exactly.
But here's the
Huh?
thing. In reality, it is a loud minority of people.
Yeah.
There is, because and that's the case with a lot of things. Honestly, there's a loud minority of people that tend to give whatever it is a bad name, but because they tend to think at least that they represent an idea or a cause or whatever that you know the outsiders immediately associate one with the other, even if it isn't true for the majority of the people who maybe agree with that idea or are for that cause or whatever.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also think it's like the big issue with like this, like we did what is it in AP Psych? I keep bringing AP Psych up because like no because like psychology, like the class I took in senior year was like a huge. It gives you vocabulary words that you didn't know existed, but you know that phenomenon exists. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like group polarization. So like when two groups like are against each other, the further and further they go against each other. It's something that happens with flat earthers and people of science. It becomes group polarized instead of trying to explain to these flat earthers like, no, you're wrong. They're like, ah, you goddamn flat earthers, you idiots, and all that. The same
Mhm.
thing goes for like the Democrats and Republicans. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Just it's us against them rather than we as the human race should figure this out. Which
Well,
has
that's yeah.
always been which has always been like the issue. Like that's always been,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah. Imagine being a human, dude.
kind of
Imagine being a
kind
human.
of weird, kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Lord.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. The world is so toxic now. Joe Biden's president, god damn it. Like, okay, I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay?
Right.
I hate Trump. I'm not saying that Trump was better than Biden. In fact, Biden is arguably better. It's just he's so old. He has no place. He has no place. He has no place at the White House. He's done. He should leave, retire, please.
The statement alone lost all of our subscribers. No, I'm joking.
Nah. They can't. What are they gonna do? They're gonna unsubscribe.
Yeah,
Please don't-
actually.
please don't
Yeah,
unsubscribe.
actually.
No,
What are
but
they gonna
listen.
do?
What are they gonna do? They're gonna dislike this video? No, but it's like, listen, it's I'm a very moderate. Like
Yes.
I'm like in the middle. So like I hate both. I hate the Republicans and Democrats, and I know that we're the majority. I know that for sure, because it's always the loud minorities, which are the
Yep.
liberals and the conservatives.
Yep.
Those are the two.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like I know that there's a lot of people that agree with me. Like Tyler, I know you're also like in the same area where you're in between.
Yeah.
So like I like I understand the Republican side a lot because a lot of like Christians are conservative, but I
Mhm.
also understand the Democrats just due to, being raised in a very is it libertarian or is that just the wrong word?
What are you talking about?
No, it's not libertarian. Sorry.
Liberal?
It's liberals. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Should we bleep that? I think we should
No.
bleep
You
that.
should bleep
No.
that. You should definitely bleep
We
that.
No.
should definitely bleep. No, Tyler, I'll get canceled.
No.
No, can't. No, please. I beg.
Tyler, you need to bleep that.
I
man.
beg.
Okay.
Tyler, come on. Okay. But yeah, it's like I've been born around like liberals, so I understand both. And both of them are stupid. Like, why are you guys like the whole goal of politics is to, improve the civilian lives, right?
No. Or it was. It's not anymore.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. Like originally, that's the whole concept of what politics was supposed to be. Now it's not. Obviously, they have personal agendas, all that stuff. But it, if you were to put like why politics was like a thing, it was because it was the betterment of the citizen or the person, of the people, and it's clearly not anymore because of big corporations lobbying for specific things, like Disney with Mickey Mouse. They're lobbying for like an extension for like the public domain for Mickey Mouse, so nobody like uses it and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic. But it's like that's what I mean though. There's so much corruption now. It's just seeded into society that we can't. It's so hard to weed out unless you destroy society.
Yes, which is why I would like that to happen. That would make life so much more interesting. And yeah, I'm a bit of a sociopath in that way, but God, that would be so
Yeah,
much more
yeah. It'd be so
interesting.
nice to just destroy society, isn't it, Tyler?
Please, it would be so much more
I mean-
interesting.
I mean, I love the nihilistic
No,
the
because
nihilistic perspective.
here,
Like no,
here's-
I know I'm being
yeah.
serious. Like I'm saying, like I always use the painter's analogy in the sense that if a painting is already too broken or too ugly to fix, you have to just throw it out and restart.
Mhm.
And that's our society. But in perspective of our society and other society, like nations, like communities and stuff, we have it a lot better. So
No,
like,
I know, but yeah.
but are
these
you
days-
saying? But like, obviously, we need to strive for the best. But is by striving for the best, are we ready to sacrifice destroying like the one of the best already standing society just to see if whether or not we will create a better one?
Well, I'm not talking necessarily just that. I don't know if you were referring specifically like to the United States, or you
Mhm.
just mean the society of the world.
No, I was talking about like America specifically.
Okay, so I was talking about the world.
I mean,
because
I mean, but that's so hard to do.
No,
'cause
I
it's like
know.
it's deep seated into our human nature.
So I want to reference something. So yeah, no, my sociopathic like view of the world is that here's the thing, right? Because like our lives, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, are fairly boring. Like things that we think of as like a big deal is really not. Like you could argue that the biggest event, probably unless something really crazy happens, World War III happens in our lifetime, will probably be Corona. Let's be honest,
Oh hell
guys.
yeah! I
Now
like
think
the
about that.
quiet
Think about
life.
that for a minute. The biggest event in our minds in the history of our lifetime will be a virus. Think about that. And then you have to think about, right, like so many things to us are big deals when they're really not. Like when you look back a month after something has happened in your life, unless it's something seriously life changing, you look at it as if it didn't happen, or you remember it, but like it's not
Not in
something that
a
has
yeah
seriously affected you.
yeah. It doesn't burn into your memory. It's not something you can flash back to. Essentially.
And it makes it seem so, in my own messed up mind, very boring. And
Well, it's not just boring. I think it's that. Well, no, it is boring.
it's
That's why. No, no. I think that's like a thing to talk about though. Is
see I
like
yeah,
I'm not. We're not too well versed in like psychology and like understanding mind. But like I think the reason why humans are so corrupt and evil
it's
now
because they
is
want something
because
to
of that.
do, just like it's
Exactly.
something
They're
to
so
do.
bored.
Like
They're yeah,
and
they're
here's the
so
thing.
bored.
And here's the thing. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but this very interesting. It's like a visual. It's not like it's a visual narrative, I guess. It's like a
Mhm,
blog, but it's like a narrative. It's very hard to explain. It's this
mhm.
like internet story, I guess. It's called Football 17776. So that's a 5-digit number. And it's basically it was written by like this sportscaster maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And it basically detailed the world like 1500 years in the future, in the year 1776. So, or sorry, 15,000 years in the future, from the perspective of like space probes that have throughout time gained like sentience. And they look down at humanity. And
Oh wait, yeah, Tyler, you told me
yeah,
about that.
so
Yeah.
they look down at humanity and like basically just comment. The whole thing is them commenting about it. And it's a commentary on society, basically. And the whole thing is that by that period in time, we have become so advanced as a society that we have solved the entirety of the world's problems. Nobody ages, nobody dies at all. It's impossible to die. Like everything is it's like a post utopia, so there's literally nothing left to do at all. Everything has been solved, and people just eternally live and have nothing to do. And if you think about it, that is where we are heading. It may not be that extreme where we literally get to the point where life is eternal, but think about it. It's literally the same idea in concept, and the whole thing is a commentary on how boring modern society is when you look at it from an outsider's perspective. Because when you're living it in the moment, yeah, of course not. You're doing something, you're going to work, you're going to school, you have this to do, that, whatever. But when you look at it from an outsider's perspective, in this case a space drone, like a space probe that's stuck and been watching for thousands of years, it's really boring. And like, and I'm sure people have always had these I'm sure you guys have even had this idea of like, oh, the desert island scenario, or like the zombie apocalypse scenario, like what would you do, this is that, like how would you survive, whatever.
Go to Costco.
Well, yeah, see, but that's the whole thing, is that since it in those situations it removes modern society from the equation and goes much more back to a primal instinct of people. And like, I'm not saying I would ever survive in either of those scenarios. I probably wouldn't, because I'm very catered to the luxuries of modern society, like having food at the ready, having electricity, whatever. No, but that's the thing. But
Having
like
a
when you
house.
think about it, it's a lot of fun to think
But
about
do
that
we?
kind of
But the
stuff.
question here is do we? are we ever gonna be able to solve all the problems inside?
I don't
Well,
think
no,
so.
that's never
Probably
good.
not.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna be on like like there's gonna be an asymptote on like how much solvability we can like the problems we can solve. It'll
Right.
always be close enough, but it'll never touch.
See, but
Because like
Yep.
yeah,
once you solve a problem, there's always another problem.
right. See,
Yeah,
but
like global warming. You're gonna
right,
like
right.
get everyone to use electric cars. Like,
No, that doesn't solve any. I don't want to get into
No, yeah, me and Tyler have talked
that.
about this enough. Yes.
Oh my god, I could get into electric cars and how much I hate them, but
yeah,
No,
that's a
actually,
topic
Tyler,
for.
you might wanna give context to that so that our audience doesn't
Don't think I'm like an
misunderstand.
eco terrorist.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right, I will very, very quickly go over this because there's a very strong mentality, and it's being pushed a lot by car manufacturers and people who want to promote green energy and whatever, that electric cars are the future. And on paper, yeah, sure, that makes sense. You're not producing greenhouse gases. There's pluses to it as well. You don't have to buy gas anymore. That's great. Electric cars they're obviously a lot quieter. Um, they can go a lot faster. They have much better torque. They have much better acceleration. So the specs are higher for most of them. I'm mostly looking at Teslas, but in general, they have the potential to be way better than gas cars. But the problem is, well, there's two problems. First problem is those lithium
they're
ion batteries.
expensive.
They're very expensive. Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
really available to the common person yet. I couldn't go out and buy or put a loan on an electric car. It would take me on my minimum wage salary a very long time to pay that off. So so there's the issue of expense. There's the issue of the batteries, because everybody talks about how electric cars are very good for the environment, but the rare earth materials that is required to produce lithium ion batteries, the mining for lithium, as well as the production of the battery, produces so much CO2 into the ozone layer that it's basically, depending on the size of the battery, it can be equal up to 100,000 miles worth of a internal combustion engine's production. If you drove a regular gas car for 100,000 miles, it still would not be as much CO2 as producing an electric car. The actual
So
production
Yeah,
of the car
exactly.
itself.
Alright, so for the idiots that don't understand what Tyler is trying to say, he's saying that Tesla is stabbing the Earth with CO2 and then trying to band-aid it
By
with
saying
uh
that,
by saying that they're using electric cars.
yeah.
And yeah, think of it like that. It's like Earth is a human being, or it's like a living thing, and Tesla just went up to it and just stabbed it, pulled out something out of the Earth, and then gave it a band-aid and said, "No, we're doing it for the good of you."
Right. See, but
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
yeah, and that's the whole issue, is that there's this idea that the solution, and it's the solution that's being pushed by car manufacturers, obviously, that the solution to the fossil fuel uh dependency is electric cars. This is what you have to do. This is how you innovate. This is the sustainable future. It's really not, in my personal opinion, as in my very futuristic mind, the better way to do it would be to design cities and a future society where we do not have the reliance on cars in general. We rely more on public transportation, or better, just walking. Because we, especially in the United States, we have a serious car dependency problem where we build,
Well, it is
subdivisions.
the. I
Yeah.
mean, me and Tyler, we talked about
Yes.
the sick, twisted version of the American dream,
The
right?
American
It is
dream.
yes, the American dream is to have a house, two or one car,
At least one
like
car. You better have a
at
car,
least
or
one
else you're
car.
not part of the
Yeah,
American
the
dream.
more car you have, the better you're off.
Yeah.
Two
Stuff like that.
kids, mom and dad, house,
Yeah.
picket
I
fence,
mean, to
one
be fair,
dog.
the
That's
two
it.
kids, I think make sense in the sense of maintaining population. I know we're having like issues with like like the world population staggering now because we don't know how to manage our resources that well as a human as like a human race in general.
Yeah.
It's like one part of the human race is eating too much, America, and then some part of the human race is not eating enough, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel like you saw that in a like far away, like in a third person view, or like you weren't a
Yeah,
human.
that goes
And you're
back to the same idea. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's so mind boggling. Why is America eating more and they are throwing out more food than necessary while other parts of the world starve? You know?
Because
Bec-
capitalism, money.
yeah.
It's
I
really
mean,
money at the end of
well,
the day. It
this becomes a
does, and
socialistic
like
argument. But like again, I think the reason why I think the issue with there's an issue with socialism and capitalism is it's obviously it's good to go capitalistic because it's fair that way,
yeah.
you know. But socialism is equity. It is yes, it's equity. I think that's the word that it's called, right? It's
Mhm.
the equal of the outcome, equality of the outcome. That's equity. I think. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Right, Tyler, I'm right. Yes.
Yeah, and like
And
yes.
that's communism. So sorry, I want to just like finish my thought.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
And capitalism is equality in the sense that everyone has an equal opportunity. But that's only theoretical. So like that's not true actually. Because obviously the richer gets rich, the rich gets richer and all that stuff. And it's like um so like there's no such thing as in the sense that I'm thinking of what my definition of capitalism. Everyone has an equal opportunity to rise up and using supply and demand and using that core idea of business, you can succeed, right? Work hard, find a target audience, like a target market, and like utilize that. But
Mhm.
obviously, that's not as simple anymore because humans love to make everything complicated. So yeah, I mean that's why I don't think there's any, by my definition, true capitalism, especially because America
No.
loves to use fucking stimulus package.
Mhm. I mean, I the United States, I always say this, and I probably said it in podcasts before. United States peaked in 1945. The end of World War II was the peak of the United States in terms of economic importance.
No, but
After
even
that,
then, their American dream was rocketing. Everyone was trying to get a car and
well,
stuff.
that I know, but we're talking economics.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the peak.
Mm.
And here's the thing: that was 1945 was the end of World War II, and after that was when car dependent suburbs started to become the norm.
Relevant.
People moved out of the cities and moved into the suburbs because you can own your own house, you could have a car. That's great. Why wouldn't you want to do that at the time? Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Yeah,
Housing was incredibly cheap, cars were cheap, everything was cheap
and you had
because
more like space,
yeah,
but
and
not too
everything,
much.
this was all available because we had the economics, we had the economy to sustain that, and we just don't anymore. We really don't. We don't
Yeah.
produce anything ourselves. We rely so much on foreign production and imports compared to our exports. It's insane.
No, but I think what's happening now is either people are really want to go to the because like there's always gonna be, I think the people that want to live in suburbs are decreasing.
Yeah, no, they are.
Yeah, because like a lot of people want to go to the city. They want to be
Yep.
where the parties at, where everyone is. Like that's where all the celebrities, all the relevant people are. So they want to go there. Um, but Tyler, we talked about this. Like, I mean, me and Tyler talk about a lot of things. So, uh, we talked about how people's adaptability to the human environment is different according to like where you live.
Yes.
So like Tyler pointed out that he hated the fact that people are always like, I want to live outside my state, or I want to live
Oh, yeah,
in
I
like
do
in
always say that. I
yeah
always say that.
in New York, or like I want to live in the city rather than suburbs, and they go there and they come back because they're not used to that lifestyle.
Or
Which I
they experience it and they realize that's not what they want. It's not
Yeah,
what they
exactly.
actually want at the end of the day.
Exactly. It's because of well, like the way I think of it is like, even if you're an extrovert or an introvert, being in the city mentally drains you. There's so
Yes.
many people, and like it's so tiring just being around people. Like, even when I go to, like, I'm an introvert, but like I go to New York and I come back, I'm like okay. But imagine being there every day, waking up to that stuff. And like, dude, that's like, I could not. I would go insane.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. It's like people's adaptability. It's like throwing a freshwater fish into a seawater fish, like into seawater, and being like, yeah, how about you survive here now? Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If we're used to one thing, it's very hard to change it unless you're super adaptable and like you're one of those lucky ones that can live in the city life.
Yeah.
But that's very rare.
And like, and I should clarify because I was making the point that like car dependent suburbs are bad, and yeah, I'm gonna keep saying that because and I know and I also made the point that a lot of people who live in suburbs end up coming back to them. Yeah, they can, but that doesn't mean it needs to be the same type of car dependent suburb that they live in.
Yeah.
Because I'd say where we all grew up for the most part, it is car dependent, but there
Mm.
are other options available. It's
Yeah, there.
car
I mean,
dependent for the
honestly,
most part,
yeah.
but
I mean,
there
that's because it's the way our infrastructure is
Mhm.
like
because it was
created.
built before the end of the Second World War. Uh, Also
We should
close
just
proximity to the
we should
city,
just use horses.
but
Just use horses.
yeah, I mean, if you
It's
really want to.
no, like, if we're too lazy to like change from like the infrastructure entirely, we could use horses.
There's a lot of horses, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a
I
lot.
mean, I mean, where else?
Traffic with horses.
Either
Oh
use
Lord.
either use horses or or use the bike, bro.
Take a
Okay.
train, take a bus. I mean, guys,
Well, it's very hard in our area because it's
you could take a train.
like no, not the train, the bus, because like
Bus.
even the bus is always late. Like, I know for sure that
Oh,
it,
I know.
fuck, I said my town.
I
Shit.
got it. I got it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
go on. Go on.
Like, but yeah, like I tried using the bus in our town. It literally took an hour for the bus to come.
Yeah, I know.
And he was like, "Oh, my bad." And I'm like, it's not it can't just be you, right? Like, it can't just be that bus driver that's late. It has to be like other people, right?
No,
Like,
it's not. It's an issue. Buses in particular.
yeah, I mean, trains I'm not sure about.
Trains are better. And here's
But
the yeah.
I know for sure that in like other countries, it's
So
more
much better.
public transportation
Yep.
centric,
Yep.
and they're actually better with timing
Oh,
because
yeah.
they know that people's livelihoods are like on the line because people's jobs are there,
Yeah.
and like the people that drive those trains are super respectful. So if like they're late by a minute, people freak out. Like, people on the train like yell at the person and like curse them out and stuff.
Mhm.
But here, like, we just take it. We just take this shit, and we're just like, oh, I guess this is the way it is. And that's the problem.
That
We
is
need
the
to
problem.
like, yeah, it's like we're taking this shit. We shouldn't be. We should be like fixing it and like saying this is wrong. And just because it is what it is doesn't mean that we can't change it.
Yeah, and this is a very controversial opinion, but I think it would be way better if we actually privatize public transportation. And the reason I make that point is that when public transportation was private, meaning you're talking trains, you're talking buses,
Yeah.
you're talking streetcars, whatever, it was so much better because there was private money behind it because the government doesn't really care. They're going to whenever they say they're going to, invest money into public transportation. Yeah, they do, but like it's really not enough. It doesn't change anything at the end of the day, let's be honest. Um And if it is, it's superficial. It doesn't really end up changing the experience. Like, oh, we bought a new fleet of buses, but it's the same issue. It's just because there's a new bus doesn't mean that there's an issue, that the issue with timing would be different. Like, why would that change? Um, with privately operated public transportation, there was way more emphasis on like having quality because
And
there was
customers and
yeah
customer service and stuff like that.
because there
Yeah.
was competition with it.
Yes.
The fact that there was, and that goes back to a capitalist idea, but the fact that there was competition, it forced both or all of the private companies to try to be the best, obviously, because they wanted
Yeah.
to get the business.
Well, to be fair, that was like the closest that America has gotten to pure capital back
Yeah.
then. In
Yeah.
the Industrial Revolution was when, we had less regulation. There was no regulation.
Nope.
There's nothing.
And now
like,
I don't think like monopoly should have ever been.
No, yeah, monopoly shouldn't exist. I don't believe in that. I just think,
No, because competition is the
no,
most
yeah,
important part.
competition is the key driving. It's the invisible hand, right? That's what
Mhm.
Hamilton talked about was the invisible hand that pushes business is the competition. So monopoly is actually anti-capitalistic
Yeah.
because of the lack of competition.
Right.
So yeah, so
That's
I
why we were
believe
able to advance so much during that time. I mean, say what you want
Exactly.
about it, but
no, yeah, we did a lot. I mean, obviously there were some morally ambiguous things, those like the robber barons or whatever, all that stuff.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I mean, to society, trains were really important back then, and I don't know what changed in America.
I'll
It's
tell
like
you, cars.
no. I understand it was cars, but I don't know who like pioneered this like and like shoehorned cars into our American dream. Like, is
Ford
it
and GM.
okay? Because it's like I guess like Ford's like belief was it was pure. It was like private transportation for the cheap common man, right?
Yes.
Which was essentially like in the short like term, or like if you saw this in like if you didn't look at this long term, you would think this is great, right?
Yeah.
Free movement, or like transportation for all. But for us, now that we're more intellectual and now it's been like, years and years, we understand the effects of what happened. It truly, I think that was when America's peak, right? Or like
Yep.
its culture kind of died, because that was the road to our like terrible infrastructure.
Yeah.
Is because of that,
Yeah.
especially in the transportation world.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing was that with cars, and in the end, it wasn't actually. I mean, it was probably influenced by car companies, but really, it ended up being the government because what happened was after the war, city planners looked to the car as the future mode of transportation for Americans. That was what city planners,
Yeah,
government people.
what are those? The fucking what? You know what I'm talking about?
City planners.
No, not city planners. There's that. Remember
Visionaries.
we had that skit we were gonna do.
Oh, like are you talking about
Yeah.
like Levitt and stuff?
Levittown. Yes, that's the word I was trying. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that leads to it, but
Yeah.
like that was a private development at the end of the day.
Mm.
Well, I'm talking about like government city planners. Like they
Oh, like
work
just.
for the government and
Oh,
they're
okay.
planning our public infrastructure. They looked at
Mm.
the car and said, "This is the future. This is what's going to be the big thing. This will be the way we will get around in the United States from now on, and it will be the best." And again, at the time, yes, it looked that way. And what they essentially did is they completely like eliminated tax from car companies, and they left all of the massive taxes on the railroads that they had during the war. So that's how private railroads pretty much died. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And cars ended up being used for, and of course airplanes for longer distance. Because yeah, I mean, of course, it's much quicker to take an airplane to Chicago than it would be to take a train, for example. It takes 16 hours to take a train to Chicago from New York. Takes 2 hours by plane. What would you rather do at the end of the day? You know,
I
that's
mean,
what
it is
happens.
also like energy efficient, I assume,
Yeah,
to use a
trains are more
plane.
energy efficient actually,
Oh,
but
is it? No, back
yeah,
then. I'm talking about back then.
back then, well, it depends. I mean, planes didn't really get off the ground, so to say, until like the 60s. But even driving a car, like people, it's also the freedom of owning a car and being able to drive wherever you want, whenever you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
That idea was like so set into Americans' minds
Well,
during
yeah,
that
because
time.
the whole point of America is apparently freedom, because nobody else has that in any of our world. Apparently, that's what America symbolizes. See, that boggles my mind as well. Is that like I know that America loves to say like we protect the world's freedom, and I understand that because we're a world power. And that's like kind of like America's like they gave themselves that role of like we protect the world or whatever. You know what I mean? And like, but I don't like how pretentious they are with saying like we protect freedom, or we represent freedom. What does that mean? How do you protect or
Oh, it's
represent freedom?
generally just an excuse to go to war to get oil, from what I
No,
understand.
yeah, no, like no, like as a navy, like I'm gonna become like a navy officer, naval officer. But even then, like I understand there are things that America wants, and I won't disagree because other countries do the same thing as well. It's just I don't like the fact they are masking their personal interest with saying that it's for freedom. You know? It's
Mhm.
like why? Why are you like stop pretending like you're the good guy when in fact sometimes you aren't, you know? You're not fighting for freedom. In fact, you're fighting for the opposite. Like America has multiple times fueled regimes so that they can get what they want.
Right.
So like I mean that's kind of what happened in Cuba, right? Right? Like they supported a regime and then the regime backfired, so America decided to support another regime, take that regime out. There's a lot of stuff like that. So
I mean, there's a lot of things throughout history. I feel like I feel like we should
we're
probably.
going in. Yeah, no, yeah. We should wrap this up. Joe is like dead.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah, yeah,
talked for him. We're going on
yeah.
this long tangent about
No,
like
we're going. Yeah,
American
sorry to our
economics.
audience who's probably not gonna. The audiences that have reached all the way down to the end of this video, bro, you guys are the G's, the real fans, the real
You
fans.
care about us complaining about broken down American
Yeah,
infrastructure.
yeah.
Anyway,
If you guys comment down below, I'll ask for your personal Discord.
no way.
I'll do it. I'll
No
do it
way.
now.
No
That'd be
way.
that'd be cringe. That'd be nah. But yeah, I mean the people that do watch all the way like to this point, what have you been doing?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like I get like some of the things we say are interesting, but holy, these are very niche topics and very deep conversation.
I think we need to stop.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for staying with us and listening. Um, like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next episode.
You're still not gonna say thank you to the guest.
No, no, he's not a guest anymore. He's like an honorary. He's an honorary member.
Okay, okay.
That means am I gonna be in the next episode?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, sure.
Sure.
Hell yeah. I'll join. I don't care.
Well, in that case, see you guys then.